Hello, lovely one. This is 19 seconds of you. The question is about it. Okay. So I think you guys can all hear as well. And it's a mentality that people that tend to be attracted to the sort of non-duality I speak, they like the way I speak, not because of the love that they're hearing, but because they're attracted to the negative side of it, that it's hopeless, I can't do anything, I'm stuck in this. But listen to me beyond the words and you'll hear the love. Okay, so the question is on that. Of course I hear the love, and that is why I listen to you. Otherwise, why would I listen to the bollocks of this crazy girl? Otherwise, why would I try to communicate with you using my shameful language skills in English? It is because I would like to understand what the source of the love and care in your voice is. I think your voice and words make you an angel, and I just believe in this one and only angel. And that incredibly lovely voice of that even more lovely angel says that I have to accept this totally, this life, this creation, this God. What if half part of the beauty and half part of the fucking beast? This God, what plays nice with someone and tortures others to death? If you would say that I have to go to the mountains for 5 years, I would consider that. If you say that I have to work for others in the rest of my life, I would consider that. But if you want to consider not doing anything, just accepting this God totally and unconditionally, then I would say the most lovely creature on earth, that sweetie, you lost your bloody mind. Why am I wrong? Be happy how much you want, but your God hates us all. The reason why you can hear love is because I'm not speaking from a separate person. But if I were to upset you or hurt you, or be angry with you and shout at you, you'd more than likely interpret it as somebody that's identified and not speaking as love. So be aware that your mind is also prejudice, because I can get very angry, and most people would maybe say, well, I don't get very angry very often, but I can really, like, when I want to, I will really have a good shout about something. And most people would might not see the angel there. They like the angel in the softness, but I get the sense that you feel something beyond that, like that innocence that I've talked about, because even that anger can come from that innocence. And sometimes you really need to get angry with humans because they can be fucking arseholes. But then you really need to put them in a place like dog does with each other. You really need to say, no, that's not appropriate. Like, yeah. I was just watching, as most of you know, that I've spent a lot of my life when I was younger, particularly being an animal activist, and I'm still very passionate about animals and also in humans and the way humans treat each other. But I was watching, somebody shared a video on Facebook today. It just makes me cry. In Spain, they use old horses that have worked their whole life in bullfights. So they use this horse, I think, as like something to get the bull annoyed, and then the bull charges and kills it over time. And the humans don't want to hear the horse screaming, so they, even before they do this, they take out the voice box of the horse. So humans have this side, and I do accept it and I do love it and my essence, but on a human level. If I saw or met, maybe not met, but if I saw someone doing this, trust me, the rage would come you would suddenly see, you know, those monsters that you get in Tibetan, the gargoyles, I don't know what they're called in Tibetan, a lot of Tibetan paintings are like, ah, or the Kylie figure. Ah! It's so terrible. It's so terrible. And that action of what they're doing with the horses, that comes completely from somebody being cut off from life. They just live in a mental reality and they're totally cut off from life. And therefore they don't feel their feelings, because if they felt their feelings would not allow them to do that. So don't ever think that the one I'm talking about leads to passivity. It leads to passivity in the sense that you move back, the looker moves back to that stillness and that love beyond the opposites. But in the world, it doesn't make the human passive. The human has to argue with other humans and has to stand up for itself and stand up for other people and animals, environment. That's really important. I also see non-duality as a massive activism against society. I'm sure you all are aware that I'm not pro-society. I see the society as just a big me, a big identified me, and I really disagree with the way it's set up. And so I see this as a massive anti-society, because the more people that wake up, the less people that will be able to do these things. I mean, at the moment, they think that 1 out of 5 CEOs for big companies are psychopaths. I was reading this, and I'm sure that these surveys are very biased, but they're our politicians and our leaders, they have to be dead to be able to do what they do, cut off from their feelings to be able to do what they do. So, anyway, back on to getting off my rant about society. So spreading non-duality is a massive political activism against society. And it's funny because people think that because non-duality is that there is no good and bad ultimately, they think that I don't have morals. And sometimes people are surprised that I'm a vegetarian, and they're like, but why would you be a vegetarian? That totally contradicts what you say. And it totally doesn't. And if you can't see or feel that contradiction, the more that you open up, the more love that comes out. And I'm not saying that you'll be a vegetarian. I'm actually not against the eating of animals. I think this is very natural. I'm against the abuse of animals, which most of our meat comes from abuse of animals, and dairy products come from abuse. The more that opens, the less that you'll want to hurt or abuse others. Like, you just won't have that feeling to do it. You might do it by accident or by mistake or by laziness, but you won't have that feeling to do it. So yes, there has to be, on the ultimate level, the recognition that everything is God and the dark and the light are it. But on the human level, you certainly can really be opposed to some of that darkness or some of that the behaviours of humanity. Totally. If you see an enlightened person that's standing by and are watching abuse, then there's something wrong there.